is your first time checking out my channel, welcome, hello. My name is Bethany. I don't usually introduce myself because I just assume that all the people watching are people that I know, like from my hometown or my family. But I thought this might be the type of video that somebody might stumble upon, so I wanted to go ahead and say hello. Or if you don't know me in real life, hi, Bethany, nice to meet you. My husband's name is Robert, we call him Bobs. And then I have two girls, Olive and Belle. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about how to do Disney with small kids. I'm a self-proclaimed Disney adult, late bloomer. I didn't start loving Disney as an adult until after we had kids. And ever since we went in 2019, I fell in love and I want to move there and I'm going to move into the castle and it's going to be great. And I'm going to, be friends with Fairy Godmother, and these are my retirement plans. So just so you know. What happened was I had a good friend from my childhood reach out to me and tell me that they're going soon. And she was like, do you have any tips? She's like, I've been watching your vlogs, do you have any tips? And I was like, really? You want me to tell you some tips? Yeah, let me tell you all the tips. And so I was trying to calm it down and I typed out all the stuff for her and emailed it to her, but I'm gonna tell you guys about it today. Since I do anticipate this being a longer video, I'm going to put timestamps for everything down in the description box. So if you just click and expand that little box down below me, you should see times for all the categories of things. And that way, if you want to come back later or if you're in a hurry, you can just skip straight to that. So I'll go ahead and put on the screen what time the actual practical advice starts. But I'm going to give you, starting out, just kind of a general mindset and / disclaimers that I want to throw out there. So my friend told me that she had been watching some of my vlogs, which I was like, really? Thank you. But anyways, so she told me she'd been watching them and she was like, I really just want to be chill and have fun and relax you just seem so chill. And yes, that is true. And I'm gonna give you a little bit of why. There's a lot of planning that goes into it, which is why you're here today. I'm gonna give you all my tips for planning, things so you can be prepared for when things go south. Number two, everybody has their bad days. Everybody at some point is gonna get on somebody's nerves on the trip or get too hungry or too tired or dehydrated. So tensions can get high. You have to really decide, okay, if I miss my dining reservation, if this ride that I really wanted to ride is going to be down while I'm there, if we didn't get to see Festival of the Lion King, which would be an absolute travesty, and I would cry with you. When these things happen, as Olive would say, you just got to roll with it. She's always like, we're forced us, we roll with it. So you've got to decide, am I going to let this bummer of a thing that didn't go according to plan or, whatever, derail my whole trip and spiral, and now we're just looking for all the bad stuff and nobody's having a good time? Or am I going to roll with it and just keep looking for more fun stuff and more good stuff? So I know that sounds a little cheesy, but it's true. And my husband and I are always looking around and we joke sometimes and we're like, we're the only parents here having fun, which I know is not true, but there are a lot of pissed off parents. So mindset. On that note, on a pissed off parent note, I will say as a disclaimer, I am very, very blessed and thankful that my parenting partner is 100% invested in being an equal parenting partner with me all the time, not just at Disney World. It's amazing and it's the way that it should be, in my opinion, and it's not that way for a lot of people. I see, we're gonna call this oblivious parenting partner. I don't think that they're doing it nefariously, maliciously, but they're just this doofus. And I'm just gonna say it, gross generalizations in hetero couples, it's always the dude. And he's just bombing along in his Hakuna Matata shirt. He doesn't know what's going on. Mom's got everything. She had got everyone dressed. She's got all the bags. She's zipping and rolling the stroller. And dad is just obliviously trotting along. And I'm just dude, do better. So I will say that I am very blessed and thankful and acknowledge that is a huge reason that I'm so chill in the parks and in real life is my husband. And also, I recognize and understand that not everybody has that. Even if you do have a partner, they might be an OPP. And if that's the case, I encourage you to bring it to their attention because they probably want to be, better for you. They might just not know. So tell them, you carry the bags, you know, help me out. This is what we need to do. Let's divide and conquer and let's go. And it'll be great. Yeah, shout out to Bob's for being an amazing parenting partner all the time, not just at Disney World. When you see those pissed off parents, think to yourself, is she really just wound tight and mad? Or does she have an OPP dragging her down? These are things to consider. All right, so enough of that. Let's get into the nitty gritty. Let me get my drink. Oh, it's right here. Do you like my cup? I drink out of this every day, not just for, I'm telling y'all, Disney it's all day, every day over here. But I can't remember, I think it's by Kai. I'll link her Instagram. She has really cute stuff, shirts, like little, those aren't tumblers, but you know what I mean, like little cups, shirts, stickers, all kinds of stuff. Anyways, let's get into it. I do have my notes over here, so I'll be like looking to try to remember what I was talking about. The first thing we're going to talk about is strollers. And if you are going to Disney World with a small child, you absolutely must have a stroller. It is just not going to be a good time if you don't have one. Even if you think your kid is too old for a stroller in the real world, maybe up to like age 7, I would say you're probably still going to want a stroller in Disney World, because all of Disney World property put together is 2 Manhattans. It's ginormous. And that's a lot of walking and a lot of steps, and their little legs just can't hang. So unless you want to carry them, you're going to want a stroller. So we have a few options. Let me tell you your options. So last time we drove and brought our own stroller, so we just, you know, made room for it in the car. This time we are going to be flying, so I'm planning on just taking it and gate checking it, like taking it all the way up, so I can let you guys know how that goes when I get when we get back. God, did I mention that? We're going to Disney World in September too. The girls don't know, so strollers, gotta have one. You can bring your own, which is what we will be doing. We love our Zoe double stroller. It's great. I used an influencer code. I think I used Hey Maddie Nelson. So you can just search influencer code or like her and find like 20% off, which is cool. If you don't have a stroller that you want to bring, another really good option so that you'll have it with you like throughout your whole trip and not just while you're in the parks, is to rent a stroller through a third party. Our first trip in 2019, we rented through Kingdom Strollers and we had a great experience. They dropped it off at the hotel. It'll have like a little nameplate, like a laminated sheet that they stick a paper in that says like Forsyth family, and so that you can differentiate your stroller from the thousands of other strollers, which we'll get to in a minute. But we had a great experience, just reserved it before we went, and they dropped it off at the hotel. We did not stay on property, doesn't matter. We stayed, the first time we stayed at a Hilton, because we used point, they'll drop it off at the hotel, they'll pick it up from the hotel. We were not there for either one. They dropped it off at Bell Service for us, and then when we left, we did the same. So that's another really good option. The third option is last resort option for me, because you're only going to be able to have it while you're in the parks. It's renting from Disney, and their strollers are not ideal. It's like those hard plastic strollers that you would find at the zoo that are just not comfortable. They don't provide like adequate shade. Like your kid's not going to want to ride in it. And you get there in the morning, you rent your stroller, and then if you later on you decide you want to park hop and go over to another stroller, you have to leave your stroller at the gate, then take whatever transportation you're taking to get to your next park, and then you pick up your next stroller there. So you don't have your stroller with you in between, which can be a pain in the butt. For example, it's the end of the night, your kid's asleep. That's a long walk from the front of the park to wherever your bus stop or however you're getting home is, that your kid's gonna have to be awake, that your kid did not have to be awake for. So there's that. Another thing is some of the transportation, like the monorail and the Skyliners, you can just roll your stroller right on there and not even have to worry about breaking it down. That being said, I'm for sure on the buses, obviously if you take an Uber or Lyft, you're gonna have to break down your stroller. I'm not sure on the ferry. I couldn't fact check it. I remember rolling our stroller on the ferry in 2021, but I couldn't find anywhere to fact check that, and things change so quickly that I don't want to give you wrong information. So, but you might be able to roll on the ferry. So that's really nice, especially again, if your baby is asleep. You've got your stroller, you're in the park, you're gonna go on a ride, you're gonna park your stroller. Where are you going to park it? Probably somewhere far away and weird, because they have stroller parking for each attraction, and they're always kind of far away and weird, it seems like. So you can ask a cast member if you have trouble. They'll have them like labeled for you, but you can ask a cast member where the stroller parking is. I'm remembering specifically like Haunted Mansions. When we were there last time, Haunted Mansions stroller parking was like way over by the carousel almost, it seemed like. So it was just like, it's like crazy. But do not just park your stroller anywhere. Make sure you park it in stroller parking, because I mean, they have this for a reason. There's a ton of people there. They're trying to do crowd control, you know, keep things from getting congested. And if you just leave your stroller somewhere, some other people are going to start lining up. They're like, oh, we can park here. And they're going to start lining up. And then cast members are going to have to come over, and they're going to have to move your stroller to the proper stroller parking. Then you're going to come back from your ride. You're going to be like, where's my stroller? You're going to be mad. You're going to be confused. You're going to waste time looking for your stroller that you didn't have to if you would have just used stroller parking. That being said, sometimes even when you do park in stroller parking, the cast members will move around your stroller depending on, like, if a bunch of people are leaving and coming, like they're going to try to consolidate it and make it all more uniform. So your stroller might not be in the exact same location that it was when you left it. I definitely recommend putting something on your stroller to differentiate it, especially from a distance. For example, a lot of people like to do balloons. That's not my favorite, because then I'm battling a balloon like that's trying to fight me while I'm trying to bob and weave through the crowds. So a bandana, like a nameplate, anything like something super colorful would be great, because most of the strollers are black and it's just like a sea of black strollers and they all look the same. That's my rant on stroller parking. I act as if I'm gonna like be the one that has to go like retrieve the strollers. Like I'm like undignified about it. One last thing about strollers and then I'll move on. Consider getting a rain cover. If you rent from Kingdom Strollers, they will provide you with one. And it's just basically a big plastic tarp that you cover your stroller with, so that when you go into an attraction and come out 20 minutes later, an hour later, however long, if you know one of those pop-up thunderstorms has come by, your stroller is not going to be completely soaked, because that's not fun for anybody having to ride around in a soggy stroller. So definitely want to make sure that you get a stroller cover, and if you're going to anticipate going anywhere for longer than like 20 minutes, I would say just go ahead and cover it if it's not covered, just to be safe. You know, you can definitely check the weather and everything too. Bob's is the weatherman. He keeps an eye on the radar for the forecast for us. So again, you know, parenting partners, man. Park bag essentials, little kid edition. You're gonna want to make sure that you have, you know, all the regular diapers, wipes, all that good stuff. But you're also gonna want to pack some familiar snacks. Just heads up, you can bring food into the park. You can also bring drinks as long as it's not alcohol. And as long as you're not using any loose ice, you'll want to like use like an ice pack in your cooler, not loose ice, because that's against the rules. So anyways, but you can bring snacks. So we always try to have like goldfish, granola bars, things like that are either not going to be sold in the park, or they're going to be ridiculously expensive in the park. And that way you can spend your money on fun snacks and meals. This time when we go, we're flying, and I'm going to try to do carry-on only. So we're going to be packing really light. And so that being said, there's going to be some stuff that I order from Amazon Prime or Prime Now when we get there and have it delivered to the hotel. Instacart, any of those delivery services are great to utilize, because they'll deliver your order right to your hotel. Bell service will hold it for you, and then you just come pick it up and you have all your stuff. So some examples of things that I'm planning on ordering from Prime are like sunscreen, diapers. I'm probably only going to obviously I'm going to bring enough diapers to get us through the day, but for the rest, my general supply of diapers is going to come from Amazon Prime. Goldfish, puffs, pouches, any of those like familiar kid snacks, you're probably not going to be able to find them there, or they're going to be overpriced. So make sure you pack those. And we also Bob's and I like to pack like granola bars and peanut butter crackers for us too, because we usually only do like 1 or 2 2 max sit-down meals a day, because those can really cut into your day time-wise, and they're quite expensive. So it's nice to have some, you know, cheap, familiar snacks. Next is refillable water bottles. Bonus points if you have a stroller with a cup holder, or those little carabiners that you can tether your water bottle to. Do not pay for water in Disney World. You do not need to. It's so expensive. It's like $5 a bottle. And at any quick service location, so that means not the little counter, like the little kiosks, pop-up kiosks that are given like bottle drinks, but anywhere that has like a soda fountain will give you ice water upon request. It's usually a little cup. So what I do is I walk up there and I shamelessly will ask for 6 or 8 of them for my family of 4, and then I'll bring a whole tray back to my table and pour them all into our bottles, and we'll enjoy them. And then we might sit there and hydrate in like a quick service like Pinocchio's is one of our favorite places to go to do that. You can watch the boats go by at Small World. And we'll just like eat a little bit, rehydrate, and then you know, fill up our bottles again before we head out. They also have some water bottle filling stations throughout the park, so you might want to check those out. If you're not big on just plain water, or you don't like how tap water tastes, you can bring some little drink mixers, the little powder ones or the liquid ones that you can mix in your drink. Those are fine. Again, you can bring whatever you want as long as it's not alcohol. You want to make sure that you hydrate. That sun is intense, it is unforgiving, and you do need to remind yourself, and especially remind your kids, to hydrate, because it made a huge difference. Last year we did not drink enough, and just the grumpiness level between her and the next day when we were like pushing water on her and like making sure, was just like night and day. So one thing that we do is we play like drinking games, where if you have like a Dasani bottle or something that like you can mark, you can be like, okay, you got to drink down to this line, you got to drink down to this line before we go on our next ride. So that, you know, gives them something fun, and also they're not like chugging a whole bottle, you know, making themselves sick. Oh, additionally, with the free water, if you have a baby and you are using formula, you can absolutely ask for water to mix your formula with. You can ask for warm water or hot water and like mix some hot and cold together if you want to do it warm. Or I always just gave mine room temperature water, so I would just ask for water without ice and just mix it up. And that way you don't have to worry about formula. If you do need a microwave, they have baby care centers in each park, so you can check that out. But you just, you know, do a little science experiment with the hot and the cold. So Magic Kingdom's Baby Care Center is at the front of the park between Crystal Palace and Casey's Corner. In Animal Kingdom, it is on Discovery Island. You take a left before the entrance to Africa, behind the Tree of Life. Hollywood Studios is immediately at the entrance, and Epcot's is in the Epcot Experience, Queen Test Track, and the Mexico Pavilion. So all of those places are going to be stocked with over-the-counter medicine, Tylenol, Benadryl, stuff like that. They're also going to have a quiet place for you to nurse, that's, you know, private and nice and air conditioned. If you are traveling with someone who has, you know, might be having some sensory overwhelm, which, you know, this is a really intense place, so that's totally understandable. This is a good place where there's not going to be hardly anybody, and you can kind of let them decompress for a minute. I've had to buy wipes. One time we ran out of wipes. I had to buy wipes from here. Those are for purchase, and diapers, of course. And they'll have some snacks and like formula, maybe. I'm not 100% sure, but they're a really good resource to have if you're traveling with a little one, to know that those are there for you. They're also a first aid center if anybody gets hurt. Same thing. Next is another one of those that can apply to everyone, even if you don't have kids, and that is battery powered fans. We got these from Amazon. This one is cool because it has these little like octopus tentacles that you can, like, you know, form and finagle around your stroller so that you can like have it like blowing on your kid without having to worry about holding it. But these are really nice too. It has this little top part that you put water in, so you just pour a little water in. There's this little hole, so I just fill it up with like the hotel sink in the morning with water, and then so it like mists your face with the cold air. Oh, it's wonderful. Another thing that I haven't used before, but I'm looking and thinking about getting this time, are those cooling towels. I've heard really good things about those that you put around your neck. So, you know, we're not worried about like winning any beauty contests here or looking super like on trend. We are worried about having a good time. I don't think I mentioned yet, but you're going to use your phone a ton for the My Disney Experience app. Just go ahead and go to the App Store. It's free. Download it. You're going to need it. You can make your park reservations there for the day. You can do all your Genie Plus stuff there. You can check wait times. You can see where the bathrooms are. It's an interactive map, so you can like see which way you need to go by turning around with it. It's really cool, but it will drain your phone battery. So you're absolutely gonna wanna have an external charger. So this one is really cool because it has like different things. Like it has the iPhone one. Let's see if it'll focus. The iPhone one, and then the USB-C, and then just like a regular USB, and then micro. This is really cool because we can use it to charge our phones, our fans. My little GoPro even can get charged by this, so it's really good to have. We usually have a couple of them, and we're just like keeping everything charged up. Okay. This one I'm titling Areas of Reprieve, and this is a big one that starts with you know your kid best, and your kid is still going to be your kid in Disney World. Like they're still going to need a nap, they're still going to get hungry and fussy, and you know your kid, you know what they need. Absolutely schedule break. I don't mean like a super strict schedule, like we're gonna take a break here and here and here, but like just leave wiggle room in your schedule for when you might need to just have some downtime. We always try to schedule a rest day in the middle of our vacation where we do not have a park ticket. This day we might swim at the hotel. You can go to Disney Springs. You can sleep in your room all day. You can go check out some of the resorts. You absolutely don't have to be staying at a resort to go there. I think you might still have to have a dining reservation to park there or be staying there. But you can like park at the transportation center and like use Disney transportation to go to any hotel you want and check out their restaurants, you know, just walk around, enjoy the vibes. And a really cool resort activity that they do is all the resorts will have like campfires at nighttime. So this year we're going to try to do the one at Fort Wilderness. It has Chip and Dale come out and do like a campfire sing-along, and you get to roast marshmallows. So you get to meet characters completely for free and make s'mores. So we love that. I would also recommend trying to stick to your nap schedule if you can. If your kid takes a nap every day, kid's gonna need to take a nap every day in Disney World. At this point, we're to where we are probably gonna do all stroller naps. This time I don't anticipate us going back to the hotel because we are not staying on property, and that would take a big chunk out of our day to be going back and forth for naps. If you are staying on property, for example, when we stayed at the Polynesian, we would sit back on, he was just on the monorail, and we would sit back and take a nap and rest, and then we would go back later in the afternoon, and it worked out so wonderfully. You might have to weigh the pros and cons of taking that much time out of your day versus is your kid need to be in a completely dark, quiet room to nap, or the rest of this trip is just going to be miserable. Got it. So when we're taking our stroller naps, there are a lot of good places to do that, especially if you want to like split up, and maybe your older kid, if you have an older kid, they could go like ride some rides while when a parent stays back with the baby and goes to a quiet air-conditioned place, or the whole family might want to like go to one of the lounges or a sit-down restaurant, you know, something like that. So there's actually a lot of places where you can go to get a quick stroller nap in, or just let your kid get the zoomies out if you have a toddler or an older kid that needs to run around, because even though you're doing a lot of walking, they're mostly sitting in the stroller, and also, you know, there's a lot of people, so it can be hard to let them, you know, run out their little energy. Some of my other favorite areas of reprieve at Epcot are the Seas. So this is right off after you get off the Seas with Nemo and Friends, in the aquarium, after you get off the ride, the Nemo ride. It's the aquarium, so you can walk around and look at the fish, and it's quiet and it's dark, and your little ones can run out their zoomies, and you can push the little ones in their stroller while they're sleeping. Top notch. Also, the exit to Mission Space, you don't have to ride Mission Space, so like if you're worried about your kid being too small, go enter through the gift shop at the end, go in the exit. There's like this little arcade area. They've got like a little kid playground. It's dark, it's air conditioned, it's a really good place to nap. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, my battery died. Hopefully it doesn't look too different. But we were talking about areas of reprieve. Oh yeah, so we talked about Epcot already. Animal Kingdom, we love Nomad Lounge. One good thing to know is that any of the lounges for the restaurants that have like a lounge attached to them, you don't need a reservation for those. Nomad Lounge is it's the lounge that goes along with Tiffin's, the signature restaurant. So we ate there in 2019, and we're still talking about the ribs that we had. So it's a really good place to go, and it's very the back. Out back, it faces the river that the flotillas with characters on go down. So that's a really good place to kind of like sit back and relax, although it's not air conditioned, and watch the characters go by. Additionally, Animal Kingdom has 2 shows. They are both fabulous. Festival of the Lion King in Africa is back and restored to its former glory. Last time when we went, it was a celebration of the Festival of the Lion King. It was an abbreviated version, but now they're back with the tumble monkeys and the aerial dancers, the birds. So very exciting. And also they just came back with the Nemo show. It is edited. It's not the same Nemo show as before. This one's a lot shorter. I think it's about half the time, like 20 minutes. Yeah, it's called like The Big Blue and Beyond, I think. Maybe not. Anyways, the Nemo show, both of them, I'm sure the Nemo show's great, and we're gonna watch both of them, and it's a great place to cool off. Hollywood Studios. This is a little trickier because I feel like Hollywood Studios doesn't have a ton of indoor seating. We love Buddy's Lunchbox, that's all outside. We love Tap House, Baseline Tap House. Is that right? I don't have it in my notes, but I feel that's not sounding right to me. Baseline Tap House. If it's wrong, I'll put it on the screen what it's really called. But yeah, that has very limited indoor seating. So a lot of, not a ton of indoor seating in general in Hollywood Studios. So there is a Disney Junior dance party. So that can be really fun for little ones to go and dance with some of their favorite characters from Disney Junior. And it's air conditioned, so maybe you can sneak a little sit down in the corner or something like that. I don't know. Just get a little rest in.
Mom, did you tell them about the little firework thing?
What firework thing?
Like at nighttime at Disney World when all the fireworks go
Oh, we haven't talked about that yet, but I will. We'll talk about that. So the Disney Junior Dance Party is a great way for your littles to get their zoomies out in some AC. It's definitely on our list of things to do this time. Also, they have the Frozen Ever After, the sing-along show that's really fun. That's air-conditioned, and they have the 2 narrators tell the Frozen story, and Anna and Elsa and Kristoff stop by, and it's a good time. So we'll definitely be doing that one. The Beauty and the Beast show is outdoors. They have fans, and it's covered, but just a heads up, that one does not have AC. It's still a must-see. That rhymed. Since Studios is the trickiest place to find areas of reprieve, we are going to tap into the fact that it's on the Skyliner. So if things get too intense, if you need to take a break from the parks and go to one of the restaurants on the Skyliner Loop, the Riviera Resort is on the Skyliner Loop, the Boardwalk that has beaches and cream. The Riviera has Topolino's Terrace, which is delicious, but you're probably going to need a reservation. But they also have a lounge. So Topolino's Terrace, beaches and cream, Trattoria al Forno, so good on the boardwalk. So yeah, if you need to get away for a minute, you can absolutely do that. And I've never ridden on the Skyliner. Last time when we went, it was down when we had an opportunity. So I definitely want to work it into our schedule for the next trip, just because, how often do you get to ride in a little buggy in the sky, right? And at the Magic Kingdom, you've got PhilharMagic, which is a really cute little screen show. It's like 4D, with all the effects coming at you and the 3D glasses with Mickey and friends, and then it's got clips from...
Wait, is that the little duck one?
Yeah, that's the little duck one.
Yeah.
Shh. So that's a good one. Country Bears. Not my favorite show, but also air-conditioned. Hall of Presidents, Carousel of Progress. I will say with Carousel of Progress, once that ride starts, you cannot get off, and I want to say it's like 15 or 20 minutes. So even if your kid is screaming through it the whole time, they will not stop the ride to let you off. The kid will just have to scream the whole time. So if you were worried about that, all the other shows, you can just hop up and leave. So that's just something to know about Carousel of Progress. So similar to how Studios and Epcot are on the Skyliner Loop, Magic Kingdom's on the monorail loop, so you can hop over to Polynesian, Grand Floridian, Contemporary, or you can even take a boat to the Fort Wilderness to those restaurants. So those are some good opportunities for areas of reprieve outside of the actual Magic Kingdom. Laundry. So laundry is something that you might not have ever thought about on vacation prior to having kids. But when traveling with kids, it's important because you never know when you might have a blowout or a blowout, a poop diaper, or maybe your kid gets car sick, aka Belle, every time she got in the car and seat until we finally flipped her around when she was big enough. Or maybe your baby projectile vomits on the monorail, and they have to exit everybody and clean it up, and then everybody get back on. Or maybe your fully potty trained 4-year-old forgets to go to the bathroom and just pees her pants right there in the middle of Hollywood Studios in front of the Chinese theater. These are all things that could happen. So I recommend bringing a Walmart sack or plastic sack with you for, because you're going to be out when these things happen, and unless you want to throw the thing away, if you want to keep it with you, you want to keep it off of all your other stuff. So plastic bag, something like that, waterproof bag. And then an extra change of clothes, of course. And then when you get back to your hotel, you can do laundry. And I like to bring our Tide detergent, the powder. I actually use this little formula dispenser that I used to travel with formula when Belle was a baby. And now I use it for Tide because it's way overpriced at the hotels, as everything is. So I'll link that below I wouldn't say go out of your way to buy it just for the laundry. Maybe you want to do that, but if you need one for formula or you have one laying around, that might be a cool thing to do. Next, let's talk about rider swap, height requirements, managing expectations. There are quite a few rides that have height requirements. There are a ton of rides that everybody can ride, but there are height requirements. You're going to want to check those before you go. I'll try to link to a page that has them all in the description box if I can find one. But you're going to want to check that and measure your kids and see what they're going to be able to ride and manage their expectations, because you don't want them to get super excited to ride Space Mountain and it's a 44-inch height requirement and they're 42 inches and we're having a breakdown and now the cast member's the bad guy and it's just not a good time. So one thing they will do, if your kid is not tall enough to ride something, they will give you a future fast pass. So they'll give you a little piece of paper. So next time when you come back and you're tall enough, you can have a fast pass or a landing lane for that attraction. But just, managing expectations. Just because somebody in your party can't or doesn't want to ride and that person needs an adult to stay with them, doesn't mean that the whole party can't ride. There is a service called Rider Swap. It's been around forever. It's really easy to use. You just go up to the cast member. There'll be a little cast member standing under a tent, usually near the front of the attraction, and you'll just tell them that you want to do rider swap, and they'll get you set up. They'll scan you in, and here's how it works. Adult 1 and kid go through the standby line. That's just the general long line. They wait the whole time. They ride the ride. In the meantime, parent 2 stays back with whoever's not riding or can't ride. Okay, parent 1 and kid get off, then it's time we do the swap. Parent 2 and lucky kid gets to ride again, so the kid gets to ride twice. And this time, parent 2 and the kid are going to go through the lightning lane, which is going to be a much shorter line, and it's going to save you a lot of time rather than having to go through the standby line twice in order to do this. You see what I'm saying? But you want to make sure that you find a cast member at the beginning of the line that can help you set it up, because they have to set it up for you with your magic band, or if you're using a card, so you'll have to tap in. Oh, and I will say additionally, if you are traveling with someone who has a physical disability, a sensory disability, something that makes standing in long lines difficult, you can check out their disability program. It is right beside where the lightning lanes are, and they will give you a return time for your whole party. So it's kind of like a digital queue, so your whole party doesn't have to stand in line. They'll just be okay, come, it's 10 o'clock, they're okay, come back in an hour, and you guys will just go straight through the lightning lane. So that's something, I've never utilized that service, but that's something to check out that could be really helpful if you have someone who can't or has trouble standing in long lines. There you go. Okay, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for sticking it out with me to the end. If you're still here, I really appreciate it. I have a lot of other facts, Disney knowledge, that are more general. If you would like to see a video with more general knowledge rather than specifically going with kids, let me know. I would be happy to do that for you because I love talking about Disney. So anyways, I hope that you'll stick around and check out some of our vlogs, and I'll see you next time. Bye!